made it back after that last game crash. It's a long time since I've had a game on the PlayStation crash. But luckily, I checked before I started recording here, and it looks like all our progress was auto-saved, so we don't have to go back and go through a whole bunch of conversations. So I guess we should continue on with the quest and answer the door. Or, well, talk to the lady outside, who's being just annoying.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Oh. Does she have anything else to say?
Yes, Doctor?
Yeah, we haven't grilled her, I don't think.
Exactly how bad is the supply situation here at Pembroke?
It really depends. Dr. Swansea deftly works his society contacts for monies, but with the quarantine, well, we're in God's hands.
Please, could you point me in the direction of the morgue again?
It's the large boarded-up building behind the hospital. You can't miss it. The key I gave you will open the small back door to it.
Why then do you always work the nights? Don't you ever sleep?
At the Pembroke, we're always hands on deck.
Lack of sleep and the medical profession always ends in disaster. I've witnessed many a colleague succumb to stimulants to fight exhaustion. Drugs were as deadly as bullets in the trenches.
London's trenches start here at Pembroke Hospital. We are on the front line, make no mistake.
Your dedication to the Pembroke does you credit, Nurse Crane, but when do you sleep?
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor. Nursing is a vocation, not the labor of a journeyman.
That's all for now, Nurse Crane, thank you.
Alright, so we gotta go find some chemicals inside a spooky old morgue basement. It sounded like. Which way to the morgue? That direction. Let's go out the main door and run around. I heard somebody. Huh. Wait, I don't think this is the morgue. Maybe I can take a shortcut through here. Yeah, looks like it. Spooky around here? Guess not. Hello? Okay. Treasure. Okay, so this is the door. That out there is the street. Oh, it's a loading screen door. Alright. Hopefully the game stays stable for a while here. Was weird. Because I don't usually have much trouble on consoles. Or at least I've always lucked out, I guess. There we go. Almost done loading. Let me scan a second. Okay, nothing's coming up right near me. Looks like I've got 2 things upstairs and 1 thing downstairs. Let's check out this floor first. Okay, that goes outside. We don't want that. Especially since we had to load in. Okay. Downstairs door is locked. Any treasure around here? Oop. Some money. I'll take that. Papers? No. Papers, please. Oh, something's flashing over here. More glass vials. Okay. That's the door we came in. Alright, let's go upstairs then, since downstairs locked. Uh-oh. Gotta remember, we got that blood shield ability now. Can I sneak up on this floor? Let's see.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza.
Oh, here's one of the objects here. So there should be one more on this floor.
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
What's in here? Bottles of alcohol. Partay. More hand sanitizer. Whatever. What's going on? Blood shield. Okay, so I can't go through this door since I was so rudely interrupted. Where'd he come from? Oh, in here.
Balls of Mars. Fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But They do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
It just might, huh? Okay, so now we're going downstairs. Oh, wait, there's more ups? Let's see what's up here. Doors I cannot access. Blood sample that we can work on back at our workbench. What was that? Some dude just disappeared on me. Weird.
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood.
There's a couple bad guys down here. Let's clear them out before we explore the... Was there anything in this room that I just so rudely ran through? Shillings. Treasure. I hear another monster besides me. Maybe it's just ambient sound effects. Weird. There's one. Other side of the door, though, so we're safe for the moment. I hope. What's this? A used Liston knife. An offhand weapon. It absorbs blood instead of doing stun damage. I want to stick with the stun damage.
It's locked.
Okay, where's our key here? Office of Pembroke Hospital Medical Examiner. Report of investigation. Decedent, Samuel Connor. Race, Caucasoid. Sex, male. Age, 39. Home address, unknown. Occupation, fisherman. Type of death, natural. Probable cause of death, fast-progressing pneumonia by virus-induced pulmonary consolidation, Spanish influenza. Examination attendees, Dr. Corrigan Tippett, Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Name and signatures of medical examiner, Dr. Corrigan Tippett. Interesting.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this.
Yeah, let's change that to my secondary quest. Find out the cause of death. Track that. Ooh, CSI time. Let's do this.
Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally open to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. A puncture over the left lung, possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then, he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
No. New hint for Dr. Tippett. Okay, however, we're here to look for, what do we got? Sodium hypochlorite. And there's a monster through the door. Well, time to go be the bigger monster. I used up a bit of blood, but it's fun ability to use. I don't think I looked all the way back here. Just a dead end, perhaps. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, yeah, basically did explore. So, onwards towards the sodium hypochlorite. Okay, we came out of there, so we're going in this way. Little scan, nothing comes up. Whoa, shit.
These scowls can be so ferocious.
What a dick.
I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting.
Sounds like there's another one around. Maybe upstairs.
Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
Anything around here? Pretty sure that's where we came in. So let's go upstairs here. Oof. Okay, nothing else up here. Nope. Alright, looks like it's returned to home base. What's that? Oh, we got needed some blood. Oh. I love this hacksaw. Especially since it's upgradable to a little bit more each time. I can make it to where I actually gain blood from it just by using it. Small amount, but still adds up. Alright, let's go out the front door. Now I wonder if I should go confront Dr. Tippett about his botched surgery, or if I should take these chemicals to the nurse that needs them right away. Decisions, decisions. Well, it's also Nurse Brannigan. I think they said it was Dr. Tippett and Nurse Brannigan that were in the operation where that guy died. Those are the two that are... Well, she's enamored of him, and he just super respects her, whatever. Okay, so... Shortcut through here. So Dr. Tippett might be outside.
So many deaths.
Disappeared on my mini-map. Oh, there he is. And Brannigan. I wonder what happens if I talk to her first. I'll talk to him first.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Where's the questions? There we go.
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error. My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
I don't know if I should say that to him. Oh, heck with it.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
Okay, settle down. So that all? Is that all his hints? Oh no, he still has two more. And he's a Mez level of 2. I'm still Mez level 1. Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan is the other person we want to talk to.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
She should be right around here somewhere. Wait, is that her there? Yep, there she is.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett in our situation?
I can't say I approve of what you did. But as a field surgeon, I know that some situations require you to bend the rules.
I'm not proud of what I've done, but to contain the epidemic must be our priority, so we can't afford to lose Dr. Tippett.
Okay then.
I've decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippett's, shall we say, misdemeanor.
I'm so glad you share my point of view. Dr. Tippett is a brilliant practitioner. We most definitely need his know-how.
I hope you're right. This is a huge risk we're taking.
Dr. Tippett must regain his confidence. Please, keep this decision between you and me. He doesn't need to know you found out.
I guess I should have gone to her first and then not gone to him or something. Bummer. Does she have any more hints? Yeah, there's one more somewhere. let's go turn in this medicine and no doubt
Goodbye, nurse.
craft.
Call me if you need assistance.
Since this is the main... Getting the medicine was the main quest. Who's that back there? Looks like I have to take it upstairs. Oh, I have to craft it, I see. Thought I saw a treasure reflection.
It's locked, all right.
That one's locked. Okay, so here, no. Oh, that plant.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Give it some fucking water. Craft medicine treatment for fatigue. Actually, what's this first? Let's analyze. And break down this stuff. I remembered I picked up treasure. Okay, now back to fatigue. Let's make two. Bring the medicine to Dorothy Crane in the patient's room. Alright, can do that. Because I'm working on the night shift. Okay, where is she? Yes, I know how to do that, thanks. Yeah, that's her.
Dr. Reed, may I help you?
What can you tell me about the epidemic, Nurse Crane? I've been out of touch since I've come back to England.
Everyday folk don't know how bad it is. The papers certainly won't tell them. Not as long as the war is raging on, anyway.
News on the front stated that the Spanish flu was under control, at least in Britain.
It seemed to be for a while, but that was only last summer. It returned with a vengeance just over a month ago.
What can you tell me about our patients here at Pembroke?
This hospital was founded to help the East End poor and needy. But since the war and the quarantine, we've had all manner of folk.
Can you be more specific?
Well, veterans, the elderly, dock workers. We even have a few mental patients. If there's space, we take them.
For how long have you been working here, Nurse Crane?
I first volunteered at the Pembroke in 1911, a few months after Dr. Swansea was appointed.
And before you arrived here?
If you must know, this was my first job.
Well, Dr. Swansea certainly has confidence in your abilities. Are you in charge of the nursing staff?
Not in an official capacity, but the Pembroke doesn't always work above board, so to speak.
What about medical protocols?
Dr. Reed, we don't have the money and resources here at the Pembroke like they do in the West End. We do what we can.
How is the duty roster organized?
Everybody works until they can't. If there's time, they'll eat a meal and shed a silent tear.
Okay. Looks like that's everything from her. And we have no hints on her.
I'll see you later, Nurse Crane.
So, take the medicine in here, it says. Oh no, I guess it already... Wait, isn't he? Yeah, he's got fatigue. I'll talk to the doc in a second.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
Press R1 to check the medical status of the citizen. Healing a citizen will increase his blood quality and will reward you with XP. Health status of the district will also improve. Okay, it's probably a good thing.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
Have some pep.
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
Nothing new on him, though. Okay. So if I look at him now, yeah, he's recovering. No blood loss. Nice. Unless he just goes and hangs himself. Oh yeah, there's a little plus over here on his name that shows he's getting better. And it looks like he's the only sick person we know of. Well, sick that I can deal with. Interesting. Alright, let's go see Dr. Swansea.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
In these circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Blood temptation. I do have some XP saved up, 2660, so we can definitely do some upgrades. Just haven't gotten around to actually sleeping in this is a bed yet.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
I wouldn't say this is no gift, because I've got some pretty cool abilities already. I'm a living paradox. That just seems more like ironic whining, so let's go with being polite, because this guy seems nice. He's nice to us anyway.
It may seem strange, but your words have brought me some comfort here.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
No need to apologize.
There is no need to apologize, Edgar. You offered me sanctuary when I had none.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Okay. So night shift mission is over. Now it's a rat in the hospital. So I think we'll take him. Actually, hold on. Pembroke Hospital, 4th August. Dear Dr. Swansea, I will be glad to manage the temporary morgue as soon as it's opened. As I have already told you, I was a doctor during the war, and I will be glad to serve my country again. I know it is not the same being a physician for the dead as it is for the living, but I believe it is important to welcome and take good care of our departed too. Rest assured I will do my best to fully perform this new duty for the best of my ability. Concerning the question of my qualifications, I'm sorry I can't give you anything more valuable than my parole. I swear to you that my regiment made me a doctor during the war and that I saved many lives. If my word is not enough, you can contact the military administration to verify my experience and skills. They will confirm that even if I never followed any medical studies, the war taught me what a doctor really needs to know. Always sincerely, Rakesh Shadana, former doctor. We met him. Huzzah. Some more info on him. Cool, new hint. Guess I should look around the rest of this room. Okay, don't want to go out the door yet, in case it locks. Oop, what's this? Rare species of vampires. As a scholar and exegete of ancestral writings, I would never insist enough about the importance of taking legends and ancient folklores into account when searching for hints about hidden or lost secrets. A common mistake is to take what we know for an established truth and use it to discard any contradictory material. For example, we must consider the possibility of undiscovered species of vampires and the necessity to rethink what we see as the established truth about the various types of immortals, based on what we know and what we gathered through time. For how many centuries did we consider that vampire was the vernacular term for what we had learned to call Ekon, until the day 4 explorers of the Brotherhood found proof in Siberia that Volkods were a lupine type of vampire. We considered these creatures to be linked to the mythological werewolf. Now we know it is not true. What about the rest? What about the Rakshasa from my homeland? What about the Chinese Jingxi, or the Pushen of southern Chile? And without even leaving the beautiful Great Britain, what about the stories about bat-shaped women sometimes seen flying around St. James Church in Louth? What about the creatures only identified as a disaster in some obscure testimonies which tried to destroy London in 1666 by spreading plagues all around the city? What about the Nimrod, the mythical figure of the restless vampire hunter, sometimes described by ancestral British icons as a legendary huntsman who only feeds on his prey's blood and could go unnoticed amongst the mortals and immortals? I tell you, my brothers, we never can be too sure of what we could find. If only we could forget for a few minutes what we're supposed to already know. From Unveiling the Night by Usher Talltree, Primate of St. Paul. That was a mouthful. Alright, anything else? Actually, he might have
Do you
regular
need something, Jonathan?
conversational stuff. Yes, I have questions.
I have just a few questions.
Then ask away. I'm at your service, Doctor.
You mentioned something about a secret society. A brotherhood, if I recall. Could you elaborate?
Certainly. I've been a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole for several years. We are pledged to monitor and report vampire activity in England as impartial scientific observers.
That explains your nightly wanderings about the docks and the questions you ask.
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town. There was something as yet unseen that set those chain of events in motion.
Yet you don't fear me. And still, You know the monster that lurks beneath the civilized surface.
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe you are as supernatural as a lion is to a gazelle.
Okay.
Since you seem quite the expert on vampires, what could you tell me about my condition and how it came about?
As men of science, our first step is always to start with what we know. Forget the myths, the hackneyed scrawlings, and the penny dreadfuls. They do not scratch the surface of the truth you now find yourself in.
The sun. The morning following my transformation. Its rays burned me. There was pain, smoke, and my skin blackened.
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend. You have been offered relative immortality. The sun will most certainly hurt you, leaving you weakened and damaged, but it will not destroy you.
Good to know.
Must I take a life to live?
You are a vampire. You feed, and blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
Since I'm the one working for you, what should I know about Pembroke Hospital?
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in this part of town that people can rely on. We support the community here, as well as provide health care.
Where do we stand today?
Oh, to be honest, we cope on a day-to-day basis. The first wave of the Spanish flu last summer took us by surprise. We lack many of the basic necessities needed.
What do you expect of me?
What we need is hope. You were a soldier. This is a war. This white coat's still a uniform. We fight to help the poor, the sick of the East End, the forgotten.
The man we pursued and slew in the canning factory, William Bishop, I believe, was he a vampire?
He was a Skald, technically speaking. The debate rages as to their classification. Some think them a subspecies of vampire, others something else.
How do Skalds come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a lesser species of vampire. From what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
Just for clarity, what differences are there between myself and a Skald?
A Skald is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires... Now, vampires exist beyond the mortal realm.
Oh, that got us some info. He's worth 6,000. No hints unlocked. Oh, level 6 mez. Mind you, I don't think I'd feed off him at this moment in time. Could always go eat that guy, but he's not worth much. So we've got 2,800 right now.
We'll see each other again soon, Edgar.
Yeah, so let's go back to our room and actually heal, or not heal, go to sleep so we can train. And then we'll decide if we're gonna do some side quests or the next main quest, a rat in the hospital. Let's see. There's the bed. Okay, let's get some power-ups. Level 10 required for our ultimates, it looks like. Tactical. Shadow Veil. Okay, it's basically stealth. Spring doesn't do a lot of damage. Autophagy. Yeah, that's when I healed myself. Claw and the shield, which we have level 1 of. Let's add at least 1 point into health. 300 blood. Or 300 XP, whatever. Okay. What's next to that? Endurance. Yeah, at least 1 point into endurance. When I'm flailing about. It says blood capacity. How much does that cost? That's 300 as well for that one. Let's take that up a little. Okay, we already have level 1 of Big Thirst. And down here, increase the damage when we use Bite. Well, we do seem to use Bite, because that's how I get blood. Alright, plus 100% damage, that's not bad. Fast regen when using Bite in combat, that could come in handy when I'm getting my ass kicked. Okay. What's the next level of shield cost? So that gives us 2 hits absorbed. 1300. Oh, we have 1300. I kind of feel I should... Yeah, because in really bad fights, that could come in handy. Ooh, 35 XP left, so we spent pretty much all of it. Awesome. Alright, well I think I'm going to stop here for 1 second, stop the video here for a second, and then we'll restart with either the main quest line or some side quests. See if the side quests are too hard at the moment or if we can do some of them. Thanks for watching. See you later.